Manny, what are you doing? Don't you know what's on the other side of that gate?
Yeah, the way out of the forest.
Demon beavers, Manny. They'll make you into a dam.
Relax, Geppetto. I'm not made of wood.
But Manny, they don't use wood.
Hey, hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Corvus Cornix, and welcome to YACC, yet another Crowcast, where I pick a game, I play for a week, and then on Sunday I talk about it. And there will be spoilers up ahead, so I'm just giving you a heads up. But before I talk about the game, I'd like to thank a bunch of special people that made this a reality, actually. So Antonin and Januska of YAFF podcast, Retrovaniacs, and DjungelTea and the Cult. So yeah, I'll leave their links in the description. So the game I'm going to talk about this week is Grim Fandango, and it came out on the 30th of October 1998, and it got a re-release about 2014, which is the version I've been playing. So the game starts in the Land of the Dead, which is basically this after death kind of place where the lost souls go to. So it's kind of like this. In Mexico, they have this holiday called Day of the Dead, which is basically Halloween. But instead of like mourning the dead, which the dead doesn't really want you to mourn them, so they kind of have this party. They drink a lot and eat good food, and this kind of colorized version of death, which the European and kind of American doesn't have. It's basically more colorful, like piñata kind of thing. Cool thing actually. So anyway, Manny Calavera, he works with the Department of Death, and he's a traveling agent. So he's selling like travel deals to the Ninth Underworld, the Land of Eternal Rest. So he's dressed as this Grim Reaper, and this character called Celso Flores. He's getting a bad deal because he hasn't been good in life. So you get these packages depending on how good you were in real life when you were alive. So he gets like the short end of the stick, literally. He gets like a walking stick with a compass in it. It's like, okay, now you walk to the to the final destination, basically. And then kind of Manny kind of like takes off his robe, and Flores leaves, and it's real that he's actually really short, not this tall Grim Reaper. But he have this like foldable sight that he puts in his costume, have this blue kind of tuxedo. And then when Celso leaves, he gets like a letter in this tube system. They have like these floating tubes, and he gets some information of like a mass poisoning, and this might be a breaking point because he has had all these really bad deals, and he's not really gonna work up his debt, so he said himself can leave this retro world and go to the final destination. Anyway, there's a mass poisoning. He kind of goes down to the garage, pick up a few items, because this is an adventure game. You more or less pick up everything you can find, and you combine and use them in various ways. Like in Manny's office, for an example, you pick up a deck of cards. You don't think too much about it because it's just an adventure game. Pick up everything, and it's actually part of a puzzle later on. You use like you punch some holes in the cards to use in the tube switcher. Well, but whatever. He goes down to the garage area, and this other limo kind of car leaves, and he goes down to this little shack in the corner, which houses one of the greater characters in this game. And then there's like this big orange dog demon, basically. His name is Glottis, and he's like this fantastic character. Like, he's funny, and he's like I don't know actually voice name, but it will be, I don't know, but this really cool kind of heart, big kind of dog kind of character, and he's a little bit stupid, a little bit dumb. But so Manny Calavera his driver's been sent home by Domino, and his rival basically, and he kind of needs a driver to get to the mass poisoning and get some good deals or whatever. But the driver's been sent home, and he asks Glottis to like to be his driver. Reluctantly, he's not allowed to, but if he gets a work order from upstairs from his boss, he can basically do it. So Manny gets this work order, and he goes up to the office, and he asks the secretary there, like, her name is Eva, if the boss can like sign his work order. But no, he doesn't want that. He doesn't want to be because of a really hard crossword puzzle or something. And that's basically that, you know. So this puzzle involves like getting outside of the building and just climbing up on the roof with a bunch of sheep ties that looks like a rope, but just really a bunch of sheep ties together, binded, whatever. So you climb into the boss's window, and he's not there. He's just rigged his computer to auto answer, you know, the calls when the boss in the door, whatever. And you kind of change the intercom to say what you want, to just get the sign. So you go back to like Eva, and she actually signs it for you. And you go down to the garage or whatever, and you basically go to the land of the living to pick up a recently deceased kind of guy named I think Bruno Martinez, and he's like this short kind of angry guy, and he gets the short end of the stick. He doesn't qualify at all. He has been a really bad person, but he gets like this complimentary mug. dead for the rest of your days or something. It's like a really stupid mug, and he gets put into a coffin, and he kind of gets there's like this two chemicals that makes, and it makes like it basically makes a stable foam, so you can like travel up, make a person go like in a coffin to the destination. Kind of stupid. But there's also part of a puzzle later on, like this foam kind of thing, and they actually hinted in the like tube switcher part, where it's really flammable and it's explosive even, so you can't have like this magnesium fire extinguisher on it, because then it will fucking skyrocket and explode. But anyway, he gets the short end of the stick, and his boss kind of yells at him, and he just tries to, like, you know, get by. So he goes back to his office and pick up a few items on the way, and you kind of punch the deck of cards, and you actually go out to the street, to this kind of street performer clown kind of thing, and you're supposed to get this kind of spoiler, but yeah, it's a spoiler, whatever. You pick up like two balloons which aren't filled with air. They're basically called dead worms. Two dead worms and just another balloon animal, or in this case, Robert Frost. There's like a balloon form of Robert Frost, kind of funny. And you go into a room where you like use the chemicals on Bruno Martinez. You fill one of the other balloons up with this kind of goo, and you go to your office and you just put those down the switch tube, both of them, and they kind of explode in the like center of the whole hub, and it kind of expands. The foam kind of expands, and so this other repair demon soul kind of guy has to go down there and fix it. And this is like, adventure puzzles are like this, like it's not really simple, and everything has like no logic to it. Just, okay, you combine like a screwdriver and like duct tape and a beer can, and you get like a laser gun. It's like, what? Not in this game, but just as a stupid reference. So you go down to the tube switcher room, and then the demon is kind of working on the pipes, kind of make it work. So you kind of lock the door when it's open, so, and then you kind of leave, and then he leaves. Then you can get into the tube switcher room, and you use that like deck of cards, the card you punched, to like go through the flow of the air system. So you get this, you know, like this client and everything, you know, details. So there's this character named Mercedes Colomar, and she's basically like a saint. So he goes to pick her up, and he goes to his office and he kind of talks to her, but there's something wrong with the system. Sort of like, she is such a good person, but she just doesn't get a good deal. And there's this best like package deal kind of thing. You get on the number 9, which is like this train to the 9th underworld, like straight express. You don't have to walk, just go on a train. And she doesn't get it, and he kind of tries to go out to his boss and kind of sort this out, because there's something wrong. And then she leaves, and then the boss kind of yells at him, and he's taking the clients and something, but something is very wrong about this, like something corrupt or whatever. So he gets actually locked up in Gladys' shed in the basement, in the garage area. And then there's other character come to save him, and like what's his name? It's like Salvador Limones, I think. Yeah, and he kind of this leader of the resistance, the LSA, Lost Soul Alliance, and he basically lets Manny out, and he works for them now because the D&D runs a crooked game, and it's controlled by gangsters or whatever. So he kind of so Manny really wants to go after Mechi because he really felt like he didn't want to leave her out there in the cold, you know. She's defenseless, she's a nice person, or was a nice person, but now she's dead, whatever. And he kind of wants to help her out, so he's going after her. But this Limones kind of character, he agrees to help if he, in return, helps him. So he needs someone to spread the message of his Lost Soul Alliance. And to do that, you need to get some pigeons. So you need to get up on the roof. You have like, you climb up there and you go into Dominic's room when he's not there, and you steal a piece of coral. You make like an anchor, and you can like throw it up, and you climb up on the roof, and you use a balloon, the inflated Robert Frost in this case, and you put some breadcrumbs over it, and the birds picks on it, and it explodes, and they fly away. And then you take the two like pigeon eggs, and yeah, and then you go to Glotty's shed, and you use like the mouthpiece that Domino had when he's boxing or whatever. And you make an impression of your teeth, imprint, because they use the teeth as a variable kind of login, so it's kind of stupid, but whatever. So you get your teeth imprinted, so they can, and you give that to like Eva, because she's an underworking agent for the LSA or whatever, and she can actually use your login kind of thing to get into the system. And Salvador Limones gets the eggs, and you can like, so he can start his revolution against this corrupted state or whatever. And then you go to like go through a tunnel to the petrified forest, and you meet up with Glottis there. So that was a mouthful, but yeah, I'm not gonna spoil the whole thing, but I'm talking about that up to that part. But a little bit of backstory. The first time I played this was on a CD-ROM demo you get with these kind of computer magazines, and I liked. And this is a reference thing. And this game is like Resident Evil. It has tank controls. And what I mean by that is you turn like a tank when you try to move. So it's like this kind of stiff movement. You have to stop and turn, basically like a tank. And the one thing I like when I was a little kid, you know, back in the day, I played this on my Windows 95, and I had like 21 RAM, and I didn't have like a fancy 3D card. I think it only could do 2D. This is really crazy. And the backgrounds were stunning, and I thought they were actually rendered in real time. So I was like, can my computer do this? This is kind of mind-blowing. But then no, it's pre-rendered images, and it's like a 3D model moving in that 2D space, sort of. You can kind of get the illusion of 3D, I guess. So I was kind of blown away by this. And much later, I picked up the game on a sale. So I don't own the game anymore. I don't have it. I mean, I lost it at a party. There was this girl there that kind of like point and click, and I said, you can borrow my copy. And when I returned to the party, she was gone. So I kind of misplaced my copy. But anyway, and then I played it on my Windows XP machine and played the game. And actually, there was like this habit I had, because I played it through and through, kind of like segmented speed running. It's kind of interesting. Adventure games are not supposed to be played like speedruns. You're actually there for the story and the puzzles, but once you run it through, it's simple. You know the puzzles. You just try and do as fast as possible. It comes like a routine. And I speedrun that Grim Fandango game. You know, like stupid. But anyway, and yeah. And the gameplay, well, it's like this simple kind of, as I said, tank control, and you know, you kind of move like a tank, and you talk to people, you have dialogue, and I mean it's really simple. You just move and things. And you have this inventory system. You kind of reach into your coat or tuxedo kind of inner pocket, and you pull up these things like like a bottle of fine muddy of the water, like a wine, and you have like this foldable sight and deck of cards, and you have like all these tools at your disposal, like the SS Lumbago, all these kind of crazy items that you combine or whatever. I really like the inventory system, because always in like adventure games you have like on the side of the screen you have like all these things you have in your pocket, but you never actually show them like taken out of your pocket or whatever. But in this case, man kind of pulls everything out of his pocket. He kind of cycles through the items, like everything from like fire extinguishers to, it's crazy. And then the music. The music is actually really good. There's this like mix and variety of it. Like you have like this track called Temple Gate. It's like this Buddhist kind of vibe with flutes. And then you have like the Enlightened Florists. Because in this game, you can actually die by getting shot or getting sprouted with like flower seeds, I guess. Then you kind of sprout out flowers and then you kind of move on or whatever. But there's this character called the Enlightened Florist. He basically sells guns and Sproutella ammunition. And in this track, the Enlightened Florist is like, it has this kind of Arabic kind of like oil drum kind of feel thing they do. And they also have like these Chinese violins. They sound very unique, very special. And then we have another track, like it's called the Bone Wagon, and that's the name of the modified car that Glad used. And it's like this, that track is like a surfing rock kind of thing. You know, these kind of, they have like a certain spring delay, I think it's called, like a guitar effect. And it's like really this bouncy kind of crazy tune rock. It's actually really cool. And yeah, so my conclusions, my final take on this, it's a really good game, and you can pick it up relatively cheap. It's on like GOG and I mean Steam probably. You can play it on the PS4 as I did, really simple. Xbox, I think it's on Xbox. It would be stupid not to be, I guess. So my conclusion is that if you can't play this game, do it, because it's one of those unique kind of noir kind of like games, very distinguished in style, and it's really, really good. Yeah, but anyway, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and take care.